I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind.
Yeah. 2020. This will be the year I finally get back in shape, Nick. Change my mind.
No, it's not gonna happen, Wes. No shot in hell. You're a married man now. You got so many other things on your mind. I think you're in fine shape now. By the way,
Well, that's very sweet of you to say.
So if you think you're not in shape now, then I guess. I mean, I'd say you already are in shape, so you're fine.
Right.
But if you're implying that you're going to get in better shape, no.
Now, it's the winter season, which means layers are my friend. Mm-hmm. Which means you do not know that my body looks like a melted ice cream cone underneath this. So,
okay.
It's just gravity slowly pulling itself down. One body part at a time.
Oh, come on. You're fine, Wes. Come on. Yeah,
but I will get back in shape. Mark my words.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to the gym today.
Look at you. You're ahead of your
sub 12-minute mile.
You're ahead of the
yes, the crowds.
Yes, the crowd.
Yes, well, I try to get a nice 2-year jump on it.
2-year jump.
Or 2 day.
2 days.
Excuse me.
I was gonna say 2 years.
There's a leap year in there somewhere.
You're
right.
Oh, that's cool. Is it a leap year coming up?
It is. This year coming up. Yeah.
I never keep track of any of that. I can't stand those crowds, though. I'm sorry to punch you into those people.
I am. I looked over at my wife at a certain point, and I very somberly said, "I'm going to be one of those people who get back to the gym in the new year."
Just stick with it.
Yeah.
Just stick with it. Don't try and do too much. Stick with it, and then I won't hate you. Because then, if you're out in January, then it's like you just really throw off the first month of the year for me. Right.
No, I hear you. And it's Planet Fitness, too, so you know it's going to be.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It was packed this morning.
I was there, what was it, Sunday night? I was there Sunday night at 6:30 or something like that.
Planet Fitness? Or?
No, at WOW.
Yeah.
Not much of a difference.
Yeah.
Yes. But I mean, I was still, it was not busy at all. That's definitely one of the best times for anybody who tries to stay consistent with their workouts throughout the year. That's one of your safe times now, because otherwise it's going to be a mad rush.
It's dinner time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's Sunday. Nobody wants to work out Sunday night.
Right, exactly.
Nighttime on a Monday, if they're not listening to Change My Mind.
Getting out of work.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. If they're not listening to Change My Mind on the WBSM YouTube channel, then they might be working out.
Well, maybe they got a nice live stream. Like to work up a sweat while we talk to them, you know?
Yeah, that could happen. That's a fair point.
Do you listen to podcasts while you work out?
I do sometimes.
Sometimes I do. When I'm running, though, I can't do that.
You know what? I would... The thing is that like my headphones bounce around, my phone bounce. It can be a pain in the butt. But if I can get the right setup, I would almost prefer to listen to a podcast when I run. Why can't you do it when you run?
Because I want something that motivates me. That kind of just like lulls me out of it.
Gotcha. I need to be kind of a little more relaxed when I run because I hate running. Okay. I need to enjoy myself.
Okay.
Music only takes me so far. It takes me about 100 yards and then I'm done.
Oh wow, that's not very far at all.
No, I'm over exaggerating, but I mean I just don't like running. That's why I play basketball instead.
Okay, I like that. Well, hopefully you're into this week's episode. It's episode 46 of the Change My Mind podcast. So welcome back. I hope you had a fantastic holiday. To the people at home and to yourself, Nick. But I am Wesley Sykes, and as I already mentioned, across the table is the Poe Dameron to my Finn, Nick Fryer.
I will take that one all day and twice on Sunday.
That's a good one, right?
I made out. Yeah, usually it's like you give me.
I'm a big Finn fan. You know how I feel about John Boyega.
Yeah, but
big John Boyega fan.
Oh man, I'm actually going to take Oscar Isaac and Poe in this one. I think he's the better character.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you.
Really?
I was trying to throw you a bone in this one.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it.
It's the holiday season. We're about giving.
What a guy you
turning
are.
over a new leaf on the new year, you know.
You cast me as the fly boy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we are back on the live stream, as you may already know. Of course, that's 1420 AM WBSM YouTube's channel. That doesn't sound right. Let me mishmash those words together.
1420 WBSM YouTube channel.
Yes, there we go.
Yes.
And we're going to be diving deep inside the crevices of the 9th? 11th.
Well, 9th in the Skywalker saga, and then you got a couple other movies in there.
Right. Of the Star Wars saga, The Rise of Skywalker. But first, we'll be diving into the news.
Yes, we got a few things that we got to get to. One in particular that we'll save a little bit for later. But first, Tom Holland in talks for Venom 2 casting, or cameo.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
This was a bit of an exclusive by the Geeks Worldwide here. One of our podcast hosts.
That was Thomas Polito had that, right?
Oh, it might have been Thomas Polito. The article that I read was written by
Casey?
Emery Kaya and Jacob Tyler.
Gotcha. Then
but it was they're typically the top insiders, so I'm sure there was some sort of trickle down effect in there.
Yep.
But it was a report that Holland may be set to appear, and there may be in talks to appear in the Sony sequel. The article speculates that it could be the MCU's version of Spider-Man, the one that we've grown accustomed to under the Tom Holland actor, or an alternate Peter Parker.
Oh, yep.
Played by Holland, but who's just not from the MCU. Kind of interesting.
Okay, yeah, I'm in for it because we're gonna lose Spider-Man at some point.
Right. Yeah.
But we needed to get him
something else. You guess another Band-Aid deal or something like that.
Exactly. But I'm under the assumption that we're eventually gonna lose him. So let's kind of try and make it a smooth transition, ease him into that universe. Again, I'm not a huge fan of having Venom exists in the universe with Spider-Man where he wasn't part of Spider-Man first.
Right.
But I think
where he wasn't created by Spider-Man. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So
that's why I'm out on it.
That's Tim Weisberg, everybody.
Sorry. I know I'm
resident guy. Actually, I'm sorry, not resident guy in the chair.
Raspy.
No, he's our resident guy in the chair.
No, but this week we wanted
AKA Dan Marino's best friend.
Yes, that's what I was going for. Thank you. Yes.
He gave me isotoners for Christmas.
That's nice. Okay.
I don't understand. How can you guys be excited about working him into this?
Because it's inevitable, Tim. It's going to happen.
But you have to retcon the entire origin story now for Venom.
You can't, though. They're not going to retcon it. You know they're not going to do that.
But you would have to work Spider-Man into it and have it make sense.
A while back, I wasn't a fan of it, but if they're going to, they got to ease into it, first of all. I would be pissed if they were just going head first like it felt like they were going to do
Remind me, how did he get the Venom? Was it going to that lab or whatever? How did he get the symbiote on him in the first place?
It was going to the lab. And what's his face? The guy who ended up being
exp-
Riot had all of it.
Yeah. Did they explain how they got the symbiote in the first place?
Came from space.
But they didn't really give like a scene of like the symbiote jumping onto a spaceship or something.
I think they were mining for it, right? Weren't they?
That I think is what it was.
Like so they were searching for it.
I saw it this year and I can't remember that well.
They could, maybe they could still work it in that Spider-Man.
They could. I don't think they're going to. I just wonder. The thing is, Tim, that it's Sony and I.
They never should have made the Venom movie in the first place.
Well, I don't fully agree with that.
If there was not going to be
without the Spider-Man connection, they never should have. You know how much I'm a Venom fan.
Well,
of course, I want a Venom movie.
That's the thing.
But they never should have made it without having the rights to Spider-Man at the same time.
This is why it doesn't bother me as much. I care more about losing Spider-Man than how the whole Venom thing was. It's just. I don't know. Part of it's just me accepting that Sony's going to screw things up. The Spider-Man tease of him leaving prematurely has kind of just made me a little more understanding of it.
Yeah, you're right though. In the long run, none of it's going to make sense. None of it's going to make sense anyway because none of it's going to matter anyway because in however many years, Marvel's going to have it all under the Disney banner.
Hopefully,
and they're just going to pretend like all these other things don't exist.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. For right now, I look at it as this is like Joker. Like the movie Joker, where it's not really in the DC universe. It's just something outside of it. This is a little spinoff, whatever. If you have Tom Holland in it, great. It's a nice little tip of the cap or whatever. But that's it. It's gonna come back. Just like She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and all these other characters, right. X-Men. They're all there. Fantastic Four, Spider-Man is only a matter of time.
Then why do you even need Tom Holland? Why does it matter that he's going to be part of it? I think it's more of a slap in the face.
I think they have him under contract, so they might as well.
It's more of a slap in the face to the fans to do this.
Oh.
Where you took it away.
You don't do that to the fans.
You tried to create a Venom that exists outside the Spider-Man universe, and now you're going to put Spider-Man in it just because you can? Stupid. Fox, kiss my ass.
Whoa, I thought he was dropping an F word right there when he said Fox.
Yes.
That was a loosely enunciated word right there.
But I think that Tim, with the diehard Spider-Man fans, especially the diehard Venom fans,
right?
I'm sure that they're in a similar camp to Tim.
Can I make a minor pivot here?
You're a Spider-Man guy, though.
I am. You mentioned the DCU with the Joker. We had Tim mention retconning here. This was something I came across. Minor news item here, a slight pivot. With Wonder Woman 84 coming out and what's his name coming back in? Chris Pines?
Steve Trevor, yep.
Steve Trevor, right? Wasn't he dead in Justice League?
Yes.
So, none of that. But so does he have to die again?
When did Justice League take place?
After Wonder Woman 84.
Not 1984.
Yes, I think you're right.
Right?
I think you're right that he was dead then.
Yeah. Because that was the big deal between Batman and her.
Unless they could find a way to like they did in Rise of Skywalker, where they took something from that happened way back.
Yes, exactly.
And then fix it. They could. I could see how they would.
But
I think I'm lost because I didn't see Justice League yet.
Okay.
He was. Really?
So there was
Still, I know, right?
Wow.
There was a beef between Batman and Wonder Woman, and Batman's like, "Where have you been? You haven't gotten over. You hid after Steve Trevor died.
Yep.
All these after in 1940s, whenever the first one took place. Where were you?" So they make a reference to Steve Trevor dying. Wonder Woman 84, 40 years after that, but 40 years before Justice League.
Yeah.
Or whatever, that math probably doesn't work out right.
No,
but you know what I mean.
No, you're pretty close.
But so he's alive.
Exactly.
So does that is he dying in that movie?
They could find a way to retcon it where he was around, but somehow Batman didn't know.
Right.
I could see that happening.
It's just that was just a small thing that I came across. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's a good point. I totally lost sight of that. It was more the fact that he was dead and he came back, but it's like comic books.
Right.
But that's
really
a
dead.
little different though. That is a little different.
Right.
But
someone who can't die.
So exactly, someone who can't die is Deadpool,
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds. We found out that Deadpool 3 is officially part of the MCU.
Yeah, so that was. I mean, no one really, was thinking that wasn't going to happen. I think we all were anticipating that, but to have, Ryan Reynolds come out and Disney kind of come out. I think he was on an appearance with Live with Kelly and Ryan where he confirmed that news. Mm-hmm. Great television. Nice little morning show.
Of course, quality program. But yeah, I mean, we knew that they were gonna try and make something work with like a rated R, like some way do the character justice still.
And that was going to be the question coming into Disney. Was it going to be an R rating? Bob Iger has come out and said that it will be an R rated, and they might even do other adult oriented Marvel Avengers.
Yeah, Deadpool, Trailblazer. Who would have thought?
Well, and the good part about it is, it will allow you to blur some lines when the X-Men come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you gotta.
You don't. Not that it has to be an R-rated X-Men movie.
No.
But I wanted to have some adult themes to it.
It's some edge. Yeah.
The Avengers kind of got to some points where it was adult fare, like with political drama and things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But really, they were movies that were made to be accessible to all ages.
Mm-hmm.
I think now, because the young kids that got involved in the MCU will be older. When it comes time for X-Men, that they can deal with some more adult storylines.
Yeah.
By the way, just on a side note, while we're talking Ryan Reynolds, I watched Detective Pikachu last night.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God, did I love that movie.
So good.
I wasn't sure where he was going to go with that. I thought he was going to go bad on that.
Oh, really? He did not. No.
Yeah. Well, we know I didn't actually watch that.
I went into it wanting to hate it. I thought I was going to turn it off 10 minutes in. But, man, not only was that an endlessly watchable movie, I want to see more movies from that universe.
Yeah, it was fun. But it's not. I don't think it'll happen. I mean, maybe something. I mean, how are you going to make a Pikachu talk again like that, right?
Right. No, I just mean like more.
Spoiler alert.
I just mean more of a universe where it's like the Pokemon and the humans exist and it's CGI and all that. I don't mean it has to be like.
Is that like a modern day Roger Rabbit sort of thing?
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
It was fun. It was really.
It was very funny.
Yeah.
I was cracking up laughing throughout it.
I gotta watch that again. That was a good one. I gotta be honest. The movie we were talking about today, I definitely want to watch it again. I might even. I won't be able to watch it in theaters, but I would like to.
Okay.
Speaking of, before I get ahead of myself and talk about one Star Wars thing, got another. Mandalorian.
Yes.
Came to an end this past week. 8 episodes.
Still stuck on episode 2.
I was just about to ask you that. Are you serious?
Yes.
How are you stuck?
Yeah.
I just.
Have you seen Baby Yoda?
Yes, I have.
Well, yeah, he's on episode 2.
I know.
I get.
Yes.
Once I looked at your
get it.
expression, I realized.
I'm just not like the whole thing. Like, it just doesn't really do it for me. Like, I'm not really swept up in the Mandalorian craze. Like, I just thought it moved really slow. I get that it's supposed to be like a Western type of thing, and those typically move a little bit slower.
I think
I
think the pace definitely picks up in episode 3.
Okay, well, I just got
episode 3 is the one where he goes back for the child, right? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, things definitely pick up in episode 3.
There's another one that kind of has a bit of a lull, maybe. But
I think 4 is where it slows.
I can't
4,
remember.
the one where he goes to the other planet there.
Yeah. Then there's one on the ship where he has to where you got the whole escape thing going on. Like the heist kind of episode.
That episode was great.
That episode was out. That was when it really just ratcheted up. Episodes 6, 7, and 8 are like nonstop. I
think it's the mask. I don't think I can identify with him.
Really?
I don't think I can connect with him. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really care about what he's doing.
I'm so glad he took it off. We saw him, we saw his face once for what? 5 seconds?
Yeah.
I mean, I was so happy about that. I don't want to see their face.
Why?
Really? Yeah.
Why is it that everybody in Star Wars that takes their helmet off, their face looks super fat, like as soon as they take the helmet off?
Right. Because I mean, seriously, I like Kylo Ren, but he doesn't look like a stone cold killer to me. And I guess maybe that's supposed to be part of it. But was it Pedro Pascal?
Bloat.
Is that right? His name?
Pedro.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say Peter before?
No, I said Pedro. But I kind of jumbled it together.
Din Djarin, is that his name?
Din Djarin. Yes. But like Pedro Pascal, he does not. I expected to see Oberyn Martell underneath that mask.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see Oberyn Martell. I saw what's the movie he's coming out in now?
Oh, I know. I know what you're talking about.
He looks more like that.
Yeah. He's got like the blonde TV wig type of thing.
And he's kind of got the flow going in this movie too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean in the show, but I mean it doesn't ruin it for me. I love the Boba Fett mask.
I wasn't super to Wes's point. I wasn't super into the Mandalorian character like right away. I thought like they were trying to make him a little bit too badass, and so like it took a little while for him to really grow on me. But as you learn his story, and as you learn how his story kind of fits into the Mandalorian creed, then it's like, okay, now I'm really starting to get invested in this guy, and you'll take a turn.
There is one thing from that happened in the course of the show that is relevant, believe it or not, to the movie.
I believe I've heard that already.
You have? Okay,
yes.
So I am going to spoil that for you. Is that okay?
Well, if I knew that already, then you're not spoiling it for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to make sure.
No, you know how I feel about it.
Well, but you know how I feel about it, so I want to be courteous. The last thing, though, that I wanted to touch on. But anyways, Mandalorian, I mean, I don't have a... If I was to give it a grade... First of all, I think you'll like that more than you'll like Witcher. I
probably will.
I think Witcher's more fast-paced.
Okay.
But it's just there's some stuff with Witcher that I'll get into it and on my mind, but... You know, I'll just save it for that.
Okay.
But I think Mandalorian's like somewhere in the 8 range, personally.
Okay.
I haven't, maybe like an 8.7.
Solid B.
Yeah,
all right.
for sure. Now, Cats. I did want to touch on this. I am not going to see this movie, and I don't know. It looks like nobody else is going to see it either. I'm seeing it right here.
To the poor souls that did, I'm sorry.
Deadline. All right, this is their headline. Cats bound to lose at least $71 million after all ancillaries. Here's how. I'm not going to read here's how, but you get the point. I mean, when you see the CGI on these things, I swear to God, the Sonic the Hedgehog guy must have found work real quick.
Wasn't some of the issue that it wasn't completely done in production, and there was just like jumping from scenes? There were just like jump cuts from scenes.
Oh, really?
People didn't understand what was going on, and then they had to like take the movie out and add in.
Wes, you see that trailer? Do you want to see that movie?
No, I mean
that's
Cats,
my point.
I'm not a fan of musicals to begin with. Cats I don't like anyway. I think the best headline I heard about Cats was score one for dogs everywhere or something like that.
That's a good one.
I think it was like something along those lines, which I thought was great. But no, like I don't care about
that's
this.
up there with Tree Bites Band.
And they are. it's a good
Who the frig asked for this movie?
And Jason Derulo having his package photoshopped out so it's not as prominent is a little bit problematic.
That's what happened in this too.
Yes.
Not as much of a problem as it is for him.
Well, yeah.
He's like, I did this movie to get the ladies so they could see my package in the cat
well out
costume.
there. If you go onto his Instagram, I'm surprised the photos on his Instagram account that he's sharing in these very tight shorts.
The whole reason he signed on
gifted.
to do that movie was so that his junk would be prominently featured.
Right.
And that cat suit. And then they went and they screwed him like that.
So this is a Broadway, it's originally a Broadway play, right?
Yes.
So you would think that all the critics would be like, oh, this is a good movie and blah, blah, blah.
It's a star-studded cast.
It's a great film. Metacritic score, 32%. Rotten Tomatoes, 19%. And IMDb actually has it at 2.7.
That's probably the accurate score.
Theater critics aren't the
IMDb's
same as IMDb critics either.
Well, right. But I mean, that's my point is, I was actually surprised for a moment that IMDb had it higher than Rotten Tomatoes just because I figured Rotten Tomatoes has, the snobby people giving it a higher grade. But my point is, it sucks. They all think it sucks. I just don't understand how movies like this get made. Like, not just how it sucks at the end of it, but how the frig did someone greenlight this? Like,
because it's the biggest money-making musical of all time.
Because it's around for a vote, but it's just so stupid, Tim. Or we're going to CGI cat fur on everybody. Oh, I'm in. I can't. This is a can't-miss idea.
Would you rather they just went with the original Broadway plan of putting them in cat suits? Not even the good cat suits that
I'd rather them not do it.
I think we all saw this playing out poorly back when It's Always Sunny did this during The Day Man when Mac wanted to put in the cat eyes
Yeah.
And he's like,
So neither one of you have actually seen the
laughs are cheap.
the
I'm
actual
going for
musical.
gasps. No.
Okay, I went and saw the musical one year. For some reason, my dad or my grandparents, somebody gave us tickets for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, and we went to go see it in Boston at the theater. Apparently,
The
they thought it
Wang
would
Theater.
be Jason Derulo wasn't there. They photoshopped him out.
Are you sure?
But they thought it would be a good
Well
idea
done.
they thought it would be a good idea to give us some culture, and they thought Cats would be the show that the
The
kids
way
would
to
be
do it.
interested in. And I'll be honest with you, I had no desire to go at all, but when I went, I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed, resigning myself to I have to sit and watch this. I enjoyed it. It was a good story. It was an interesting story. I'm not a Broadway musical guy myself, but I could appreciate the talent that went into it. So I wasn't surprised that they would want to make a movie of it. They've been talking about it for a long time.
Sure, they did Les Mis. They've done a bunch of other stuff.
The movie's probably about
Chicago.
35 years too late.
Yes.
To when the craze was going on for this.
Yes.
Now the craze is going on for Hamilton. Make a Hamilton movie. Don't make a movie about something that
Book of
everybody in the
Mormon.
world that cared about cats has already seen Cats at this point.
I want to see a Blue Man Group movie. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Stomp.
Book of Mormon, though.
The
seriously.
Book of Mormon. That'd be good.
I haven't seen that, but I hear great things. I hear it's an outstanding play.
And so all these musicals that are out there that people are clamoring to see, that's what you want to make a movie of.
Is Wicked
because they can't go see it in Broadway.
Has Wicked been made into a?
It's coming out.
It's coming into now. That one I can understand, but the idea of the CGI human cats,
Yeah, it's a tough look.
not even remotely appealing for like 2 seconds.
But as we'll find out a little bit later in the episode, people love cats.
They do. I mean, I like cats.
Yeah.
I grew up with a cat. Well, didn't grow up.
As a
but-
matter of fact, I'll save it for later.
Yes.
Okay, which brings us to we're not doing comic book minute because I want to just talk Star Wars. Which brings us to drinking buddies, and Wes, you came up with some good ones this week. Back-to-back episodes with some good ones. We have the Star Wars past and present trilogy doppelgangers.
Yes.
We'll start at the top of your list. Although I think this might be my favorite one. We have Poe Dameron and Han Solo.
Yeah.
Would you like to start, or should we have Tim start?
Let's have Tim start.
Tim, Poe Dameron, or Han Solo?
And kind of rapid fires. We'll go through these here.
Han Solo. No
Okay.
doubt.
Han Solo.
I'm actually going to go with Poe Dameron. I love Poe.
I need a Y on that.
Because I think that he's got a little bit more of unreasonable edge to him. I think Han Solo is very smart, and I would like to get inside the mind of Poe Dameron.
You think he has edge?
Poe?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see what that dumbass did in Return of the Jedi?
I think there's no edge to him at all.
Okay.
I think he's a poor man's attempt at a Han Solo.
Okay. I mean, I think that Han Solo is an outstanding character.
Don't get me wrong. I like Poe.
That might be-
I just think he's a knockoff.
Han Solo, that's okay. I can.
Yeah, not brand Han.
Ray Palpatine or Luke Skywalker. Spoiler alert, everybody.
Right.
Ray Palpatine. I'm turning into Ron
I want you to correct that. Please correct that.
Ray Skywalker.
Thank you.
Or Luke Skywalker.
No, I have my own issues with that. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I will go with Rey. She's the strongest of the any Jedi, I think, to this point that we've seen on the silver screen. Mm-hmm. Right? Is this silver screen or is that TV?
I think
No,
TV's
silver screen is the movie theater.
Movie
Is it?
theater. There
Oh,
we go.
there you go.
I'm glad I got that reference
Getting
right.
cultured.
Yeah, exactly. And Luke just seems too much of a Boy Scout. I don't know. Luke never did it
I
for
am
me.
with Wes. I go Ray.
I have a question. Is it Luke Skywalker of the original trilogy age, or is it crusty ass Luke from Last Jedi?
Okay.
Pick your preference.
If it's crusty ass Luke, I'm going and hanging out with him.
Oh, really?
I don't even care if we're drinking weird alien titty milk.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's the guy that I want to drink with, because he's just going to sit there at the bar and bitch about everything.
That's a good point.
And I'm going to love
off
everything.
my lawn, Luke.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the minute some guy says something to him about, okay, boomer, he's going to whip out the lightsaber
That's
and
right.
cut off his hand.
That's a good point.
Darth Vader or Kylo Ren? I'm going with Vader on this one.
Yeah, I'm going with Darth Vader too. He won't talk as much. He's not as angsty.
No, but he will strangle you.
Although, Anakin Skywalker, pretty angsty, but I'm thinking Darth Vader, like in his prime, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi type thing.
I feel like he's not going to talk much, like you said, but he'd be more open to having a civil conversation, whereas Kylo Ren is the most impatient bastard ever.
And with these last 4 that we mentioned, the Rey, Luke, Vader, and Ren, just as a pure drinking buddy, like no matter who you choose, anyone with the Force, just being able to like Force grab you a beer whenever you want, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for the bartender.
Yeah, Force pour, I'm
gonna pick Darth Vader too because I don't want to listen to Kylo Ren talk.
Yeah,
but also I think it's gonna be hilarious that because see Kylo Ren can take his helmet off. I want to see Darth Vader try to drink like
sippy straw.
No, he's like tossing shots into his mask.
Oh yeah, there you go. The grill actually flips open.
That's it. Yeah,
that's beneficial.
R2D2 or BB-8. This one's a tough. I don't.
R2D2. He's always there. He's always been around. He has all the answers, I feel like. I know BB-8 can do a lot of things too, but I feel like R2 is the more central droid.
He's got quite the story to tell.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. There's a lot of stuff we haven't seen that he saw.
And he's definitely R2D2 because he's a smartass.
This is true.
Right.
Yes, BB-8 is more
It's more just like a golden retriever. I feel like he's just always there. He's just there to support you.
Right.
The BB-8.
I want you to answer this next one. Finn or Lando Calrissian? I'm going with Lando. For sure, 100%.
And this might be a little racist. I wanted to put someone with Finn, but I didn't know who else to match him up with.
When I saw it on the list, I was like,
I apologize.
Is that a fair matchup, or is that?
I don't know. Who else would you pair with Finn?
Leia?
Jango Fett.
Yes.
Did he have that big of a role in
no,
the
he was the prototype for the original Stormtroopers.
I guess.
So you've got kind of.
I'm thinking of like billing too, as well as doppelgangers.
The only other one you could have said was Leia. That's the only other one you could have done. And
but I had a tough time finding a match.
Who else would it be?
It's even that's a stretch.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I think Lando's the right one here. No,
so I think minus the racial component, I think you nailed it.
Okay.
It's just the optics.
The optics are bad. I'm fully admitting to that.
Yeah. So I would take Lando in that one, 1,000%.
Hold on, wait a minute. We're completely overlooking the fact that both Finn and Lando essentially play the same role to Han and Poe. So you nailed it.
Oh, okay.
You nailed it perfectly.
Thank you.
I thought that was pretty. Okay.
We blame the Star Wars universe for making the number 2 a black guy.
We're just pointing it out.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you 100%.
God, I'm glad we came around full circle.
So Leia
on
just
that
doesn't
one.
have a real comp in this one, I guess.
No, she really doesn't.
Is it my turn? Because I'm totally going with Lando.
Yes.
So that we can each drink a smooth, delicious Colt 45.
Where are you going with this one?
Lando seems like a good time. Although, going back to his solo performance, he is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little weird, probably like slightly problematic in this one as well.
Yep.
I'm going with Finn. I feel like he would be the more benign hangout. Like
this is why I wanted
maybe
him to go
I
last.
don't want to go maybe I don't want to go crazy, the whole night and end up at like a burlesque droid robot show.
If you go, see, and that's my thing. You want to go and say that. You want to say that about Poe versus Han. Poe has an edge to him, but Han Solo's going to get your ass kicked out of a bar and maybe killed. Okay, if you're going out with him, in
my world, Han shoots first.
For your drinks.
Yeah,
that's right. Han does shoot first, but still, you can see there's probably going to be a lot of people that want to kill him. Right?
Here's the big question overall. Anybody in the Star Wars universe, who do you want to go out and have a drink with?
Rey.
More than anything.
I thought this list. Sorry.
Chewbacca.
That's a good call.
Chewbacca's a good one.
Maybe Babu Frick. He seems like a good time.
Babu Frick's my boy.
Babu Frick versus Jar Jar. We're all going with Babu, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no
Babu
doubt.
Frick.
But my answer to who I'd want to go out with for a drink most is Bill Burr's character from The Mandalorian. Only if he does the Jar Jar impression the whole time we're out.
That was funny. He did. Yeah.
See that one? I don't understand.
We gotta show. He did it.
Bill Burr's in it though. I mean, that's got to be a good sign.
That episode is
6.
It's probably the second best one besides the finale.
Okay.
Man, I don't know. I really like. I like Rey a lot.
She was awesome. I thought she was the big winner in all this. We'll get into that later.
It would be Rey. I like Qui-Gon a lot, and I like Darth Maul a lot too. But I don't feel like I could get a drink with that guy.
Right.
He'd probably.
I think we're overlooking the obvious one of who would be the best person to go out drinking with.
Obi-Wan.
No, Yoda.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Because he's gonna get hammered, and he's gonna start letting slip some Jedi secrets.
That's what you want.
And plus,
he's probably got some weird psychedelic stuff too. That if you really want to go down that avenue, he can take you down there.
And how awesome would it be to just be like at a bar, like in Mos Eisley or something? Everybody's getting hammered. And you're like, guys, watch this. Hey, Yoda, eat a frog. Show everybody how you eat a frog. Like, that's going to be the ultimate night out drinking. People will talk about that.
And that's another one.
That,
I think Yoda's a good one. I think Qui-Gon, though, you could have the same kind of thing because he's already kind of against the Jedi a little bit. Like, he's bordering on
not
that.
only does Qui-Gon get lit when he goes out and drinks, but he's the guy that starts a fight.
He might be, too.
He's the guy that just sits there, and you're sitting there and you're talking, and you know, just about life. You're, like, kind of trying to get some Jedi wisdom from it, and he takes that last shot and he downs it, and then he goes, hey, watch this, and turns around and punches the guy next to him. And next thing you know, you're in a fight and you have no idea how you got into it.
Part of the reason that I want to go with Rey is because I also kind of want to marry Rey. I love her.
Sure, yeah.
She is amazing.
Lovely accent.
Oh, just everything about her. Are we ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's get right to it.
All right, spoilers.
You guys are selling way too high on the Rey.
What? What's wrong with Rey?
I think she's all right.
She's all right, but she's amazing. Tell me what's wrong with her.
I don't know.
Well, we'll get into it.
Okay, fine. Where do you want to start?
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, okay? After Palpatine mysteriously returns. Yes, spoiler, that happens.
Yes.
You find that out in 10 seconds.
What?
Yes.
The Resistance faces the First Order once more in the final chapter of the Skywalker saga, directed by J.J. Abrams again, and starring Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Lupita Nyong'o, and Kerry Russell. Currently rating at a 7 out of 10, right around 168,000 votes on IMDb. And oddly, 55-86 split on the critic audience scores of Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, that's the least shocking thing I've ever seen.
It's weird, actually, to be honest. But
The audience I get, 86. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The 55 Rotten Tomatoes can go.
That's what I mean. I don't understand.
I'm going to pull up the Last Jedi. Go ahead.
Domestic opening, 177.3 million. Domestic to date, 341.3 million. Worldwide to date, 704 million. So just as a comparison to all of this, the most recent Star Wars movie, Solo, had $93 million less on the domestic opening weekend and made $392 million overall. So the domestic opening weekend for The Rise of Skywalker pretty much double.
Close to doubled.
No, not overall doubled it. Just the domestic beat it out by a couple million. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The Last Jedi made almost 44 million more in the domestic opening weekend and made 1.3 billion.
Wow,
kind of amazing. Rogue One did less than Rogue One, or Rogue One did less, I should say. But The Force Awakens, 71 million more, almost 71 million more domestic opening weekend, and then made a whopping $2.06 billion.
Okay, and I'm going to diagnose all of these real quick. Force Awakens, we were all waiting for it, and we knew it was going to be better than prequels. We all knew it, and it ended up being the case. Rogue One is like, do we need this movie? I don't know.
Right,
and then
the
it built
side
up
ones,
steam.
it's understandable, right?
Exactly. Well, Solo, I was going to say, got screwed by The Last Jedi.
And they also had huge production problems, directors, I think, jumping. But it was kind of rushed out.
It was a fine movie. I enjoyed it.
It was okay.
It was. I mean, it was fine.
It was good.
Okay. I can live with it.
There was a large portion of the Star Wars fandom, though, that didn't want to see a different actor playing Han Solo.
Sure.
And that's the other issue. By the way, I just found the Rotten Tomatoes score for Last Jedi. 43% audience score. Okay, I can understand that. 91%
I was going to say
Tomatoes.
it was in the 90s. I knew it was.
91 for the critics. Get the hell out of my face. This is why we promote the IMDb scores, because as much as I can't get the site name right all the time, they know what they're talking about.
Because they're not a bunch of DBs.
Exactly.
Right? See what I did there?
Exactly. So I subconsciously, I don't want to say that about
That's
them.
right.
But anyway.
So I think, 704 million on the opening weekend, it's going to clearly make $1 billion. 1.3 billion is what The Last Jedi made. Rogue One made $1 billion too, for whatever that's worth. I think that it'll easily surpass that.
Yes, should.
A couple 300, 600 million or so. 2.06 billion is going to be the interesting one to watch.
Yeah, I don't know
off of The Force Awakens.
I think part of the problem that they'll run into is the people who, well, maybe, I don't know, but the people who really liked The Last Jedi won't like this as much. Like, I didn't hate The Last Jedi like everybody else did, but they definitely tried to cram a lot of unnecessary crap down our throats.
Yeah, and I didn't like it just because overall, seeing it in its entirety, that stands out. That doesn't. Yeah, one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, definitely. And there are things that 9 did where they fixed some important stuff, which I really appreciate. But I get it's tough. They were in a tough position where they could not be the perfect ending.
Right.
But I think they did as well as they could have, and that's why I freaking loved this movie after it was done.
Okay, so let's get into it. Did you like it?
I loved it. My score, 94.
94.
94.
And you loved it.
And I honestly, after I watched that, I said to myself, I think I could see myself rewatching this from start to finish more often than Endgame. As much as I give Endgame a higher grade.
Endgame?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't think it was better than Endgame, but I could see myself rewatching
the rewatchability. Okay,
yes.
That I get. That I do get. Okay.
Did you like it, Wes?
Well, I was going to toss it over to our friend Tim here.
Oh, I liked it. Mm-hmm. I absolutely liked it. I thought it was I thought it was not without its flaws, but I thought overall it's an enjoyable movie. Mm-hmm. I would give it a 90.
Okay.
But with that said, I wouldn't give any. I haven't seen Solo, but I've seen everything else.
Solo's not better than this.
I would give but I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
For the statement I'm about to make, I don't think I would give any Star Wars movie less than an 80.
Yeah.
So in that ranking,
even the prequels, the original prequels.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's still a Star Wars movie in the end. So,
Okay.
I'll still watch it. Like, if I'm flipping through the channels and it's
like
on,
pizza.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like pizza in that way, but I don't know, man. My bottom one.
Yeah. No, it's a tough one. The prequels for me are tough.
Although I will say my 11 is more rewatchable for me than my 10. But Wes, did you like it?
Yes. In a vacuum, I really liked it.
Okay.
But as the end-all movie to a saga that spanned 42 years,
Yes.
kind of lackluster.
Yes, I agree with that.
It just didn't really have that
come on,
real
guys.
kicker, that real stamp.
To be honest with you,
What are you talking
it was it was a really fun time. It was a good story. I appreciated the retconning of The Last Jedi, but I thought that also weakened some things. And most of my issues with this movie relate back to The Last Jedi.
That's fair. I can understand that.
And then it just makes me wondering why Rian Johnson did this movie.
It doesn't make any sense.
Or,
I mean,
Last Jedi, yeah.
I understand if J.J. Abrams didn't want to keep going with it, if it was intimidating, blah blah blah. But you got to find someone who has a similar track record to him. Otherwise, it's just
or a similar vision, right? I think we were all talking about.
Just be the Steven Spielberg, to his Tobe Hooper, or all these other movies that Steven Spielberg really directed, but somebody else directed. Gremlins, Joe Dante, where you're the producer, but at the same time, you're really the guy in charge.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's basically here's my list of things for you to do. Do them.
Right. Yes, exactly.
But Abrams he impressed me with some of the adjustments that he made in the course of all this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we have, and I know I'm jumping around here, but we have the moment at the end where Rey, they made that a thing that kept coming around where they could be in the same kind of area and touch, even though they're on different planets, and they kind of ramped it up a little bit.
That force connection.
The force connection, that's what it was. I really appreciated a very small detail, but it really helped me accept one major flaw in Last Jedi was Leia trained as a Jedi.
Yes, absolutely. And some of the retconning, that's what I mean. That was great. But again, that was a general kind of gloss over of that. But again, you're taking time out of your last movie of the Skywalker saga to correct things and make things right with the previous film, which is, I don't know, still kind of tough for me.
I agree with you that it's a lackluster end to the Skywalker saga. I would actually say that saga ended with Return of the Jedi. That really what we're seeing in this is a different saga.
Right.
And as an ending to that, it's decent. It's much stronger ending to this,
right.
Generation 2 saga than it is to the Skywalker saga. If you want to call
but they're billing it as one big story.
Yeah, they are.
1 through
I know.
9.
I wish that they hadn't. I wish that they kind of let it exist in its own.
I see what you're saying.
So that then I would have felt stronger about it.
Right.
Also, if it took the turn that I thought it was going to take, I actually was like, oh, I get it now. It's the rise of Ben Solo as the Skywalker. If it had actually gone that way, I would have preferred it.
Well, isn't it? Right. Didn't it kind of turn into both?
I thought it was cheesy at the end that she decided she's going to start calling herself Skywalker. It was kind of like, we called it the rise of Skywalker. We got to make her be Skywalker by the end of it.
I do too. I have another issue with that for another reason. But
okay,
I mean,
we'll get to that later.
Just the good part of that, though, I think that means that Skywalker can become more than just a last name.
Right.
So it means more than just being part of that lineage.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think in one of the, I guess we'll jump to it. I look at this and the whole issue from Return of the Jedi, one of the big ones.
The Last Jedi.
What did I say?
The Return of the Jedi.
Sorry, Last Jedi was they should get a little more original with the names.
Well, blame Rian Johnson.
Yeah, there
should be only one name with Jedi in it.
But when they go and say that Rey's parents, it doesn't matter, right? The whole thing was, it doesn't matter where you come from and all that stuff, and I'm sure that pissed people off that now she's a Palpatine. But really, he gave us all what we wanted. The people who it's like where you come from doesn't matter, and the people who are like Rey's got to be somebody. She is somebody. But it doesn't matter that her grandfather was the most maniacal, evil person to ever to exist in the galaxy. She can still be a good person. So you get both at the end of it. I appreciate it. Like, that is the ultimate clean.
My issue is, so I'll just skip right to it.
Yeah,
this was my big thing right here. Okay, so it's clear J.J. Abrams was reworking the narrative set up in The Last Jedi by Rian Johnson. The lineage doesn't matter in the Force. They make Rey a Palpatine, giving lineage in the Force importance once again. But by the end of the movie, she chooses her own lineage, I love what you guys were just saying, by taking the Skywalker name. All of that's meaningless.
But I think it's not. I don't know.
So lineage doesn't matter, and you can just choose your own destiny?
You can choose what path you want to take. It can give you certain powers. I mean, obviously, she's one of the most powerful Jedi.
But it does matter because not just anyone can have the Force. You have to have the lineage.
It matters in the sense of your physical capabilities, but it doesn't matter in terms of the choices that you make in life.
No,
I'm not a big fan of the Skywalker thing, but
you're both wrong.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, Tim. I don't think your mic's working right now. What was that?
No, I think you're both looking at it kind of from the wrong perspective.
Well, then enlighten us there.
Your lineage helps in being a Jedi, but it's not a factor in you being a Jedi. Like the Jedi that are they didn't come from long lines of Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're a Jedi,
like Anakin.
Right. Like in this particular case, we have a lineage of it, but it doesn't have to be that way. So you can choose to want to go the way of the Force. Everybody has the same capabilities in them to be a Jedi. It's just if you choose to do that.
Wait a minute. Everybody has the same capability?
Listen, the way that the Force is supposed to exist, it exists in everybody.
Yes. Well, that was in the prequels, was it not? In the midichlorians?
No, midichlorians kind of ruined everything. Because midichlorians made it so that now there has to be a quantifiable element to whether or not you can be strong in the Force.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
And that's not supposed to be the case.
Okay.
The Force is it's a religion.
Mm-hmm.
So really, that's what it is.
It's your conscience. It's your Holy Spirit.
It's how much faith.
Amen.
It's faith. That's all that it is it's faith. So it's how much faith you put into this greater power of the universe.
I'm going to go revisit my faith after this, see if I can get some Force powers.
So you can be a complete moron in the Star Wars universe, but if you have faith, you could be a great Jedi. You don't have to be particularly smart. You don't have to be particularly agile. Those are things that come to you when you accept the Force and you become stronger in it. So you could be an idiot that can't even jump 2 feet, but you start to believe in the power of the Force and you dedicate your life to it. Next thing you know, you're one of the smartest MFers out there, and you can do backflips.
Is that the story? Is that the message that we're getting, or do we have to leap to that? Because
that's always been the implication of the Force.
You are leaping to that because think about Rogue One, right? Who's the guy that protected the Jedi Temple? The blind guy.
The blind guy, yeah.
He's connected to the Force, and obviously he gets some benefits, like when he walks through that field and whatever, and doesn't get shot. But he doesn't. That's all he has. That's it.
No.
I mean, how does he not have greater Force powers? Because he's pretty connected to the Force. Does he not?
You can have all the Force powers that you want. I'm saying it's something that you choose. It's not something that you have to. You're dependent on your lineage to do it.
But I'm saying that's a guy who seemed like to choose. It seems like he made a choice to devote himself to the Jedi religion, and he's not a Jedi. He can't be. Because not everybody can be.
Because maybe he didn't dedicate himself enough. Maybe his training wasn't
a lot
complete.
More dedicated than Rey was at the beginning.
I'm sure it comes easier to some people than it does to others.
That's the point.
But I'm just saying it's not the only thing that matters.
I think the point I was trying to make is while you're both were using references from outside of the most recent trilogy to help bolster your points, which I thought were valid. I think it was a good, strong point.
I'm just trying to go back to the original Lucas plan.
Well, I understand that, but we're talking about the Last Jet or the Rise of Skywalker in this most recent trilogy, and off the evidence that we're given, particularly in the Rise of Skywalker, it makes it very clear to me that J.J. Abrams is correcting what Rian Johnson said and says, no, it does kind of matter what your lineage is.
Yes, it does kind of matter.
We also get into this, Finn keeps wanting to tell Rey something, which we come to find out that he's Force sensitive somehow.
Yes.
Which does kind of leave up to the point where, like, lineage doesn't necessarily matter, but that doesn't get expounded upon at all. We never get to really see that.
See, what I think it is
he's just, like, going off of his hunch.
Right. And I think anybody can be Force sensitive, but I don't think everybody necessarily is in that, like, and definitely not anybody can be a Jedi. I think some people are luckier than others. And then I think in the Skywalker case and in the Palpatine case, they are more in tune with the Force.
Well, you have to have a certain level of connection to the Force for them to even accept you into the Jedi. So It's not like you can just be any idiot and go in there and do it. Like, you can be any idiot and choose to go the way of the Force, whether or not that gets you into the Jedi. But going back to what you're talking about with the whole lineage doesn't matter, but are they talking about in that regard that who her parents are doesn't matter in terms of her being a Jedi, or are they talking about who her lineage is doesn't matter in terms of the path she takes as a human being and what she chooses to do with it?
That's what it ended up being.
Right.
So that's what matters. That's where I'm saying that that crowd who liked the last Jedi got what they wanted. Because she still, it doesn't matter what she came from, she can still make her own choice, which I like that.
Also, the other question is, and I don't know, this probably goes deeper into the mythology than I might know, but generally, from my recollection, Sith isn't like you don't have to be as strong in the Force as somebody going to be a Jedi if you want to be a Sith.
No, because evil is naturally more powerful, I would imagine, just in basic story lore than good.
So Palpatine
you don't
doesn't
hold
have
back or anything like that. There's no code, none of that.
Pre-Sith Palpatine probably isn't any more stronger in the Force than anybody else. You know what I mean? He chose to go down that path, and that's what made him powerful. So therefore, I don't think it's a genetic thing that he would pass that, that power in the Force onto his offspring.
But I don't know.
I mean, we've only seen...
That's like if you go out and learn how to throw a football, it doesn't mean your son's going to come out and throw a football as good as you can.
Well, I think we see that quite often. Vlad Guerrero Jr. can hit the ball pretty well.
Yeah,
but
he's just like his old man.
I mean, I don't know.
No, but
maybe that's a bad idea.
Thad Moss was just catching touchdowns, one of 10 touchdowns from Joe Burrow.
Legitimately, that comes into genetics and physical makeup.
Right,
so.
exactly. Yes.
Maybe that's not the same as Force power.
I think we could get into this conversation all day and kind of just hover around each other's points and never
we're arguing things that don't matter.
The last thing with that, though, in the retconning of that whole point, what Kylo said to to Rey, where your parents didn't matter and stuff like that.
In The Last Jedi?
Like they kind of were nobody in the end. I mean, I know he was Palpatine was the son, right? Palpatine's son?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's Palpatine's kid, but in the end, they were nobody because they were trying to hide and protect their daughter from him the whole time. Like,
and not to mention,
that too.
You don't want to tell her, oh, by the way, you're Palpatine's granddaughter.
Right.
Like,
everybody
did anyone else
talk about setting somebody up for
Palpatine,
failure?
Boinking? Did anyone else think about that?
I was having the same. As we were talking about all this, I'm like, he either, like...
Yes.
No.
Like, you have to look at it like this.
Do it.
He either, like, got it one time, or he was just laying Sith pipe all over the universe.
Right, exactly.
Like, it's either or. There's no in between.
Just dropping loads all over the place.
Look at it from a mathematical standpoint. So Rey is like what, 20 something?
Right.
And so her dad is like what, probably 40 something.
So he froze.
He looked pretty young when they were trying to hide her. He looked pretty young. So, am I to envision like the Palpatine of Return of the Jedi getting busy?
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Where he's like, force choking.
No,
somebody to come over there and pleasure.
He knew that this was going to be happening down the road, so we went to the clinic, froze some sperm.
Yeah.
I think he would have froze midi-chlorians.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Those completely disappeared from this trilogy.
Do you want to get to our rankings?
Well, yeah, let's do that. Yes, let's do that.
Can I just offer one quick criticism of this movie?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I don't think anybody's mentioned the editing and the pacing.
That was one of it too.
Terrible.
Breakneck speed for the first act.
Yeah, terrible. And the movie did not have
lulls.
No, the movie didn't have any time to breathe. It was like one action scene to another. Mm-hmm. Like you don't have any time to kind of catch your breath. That being said, the battle on the shipwreck with
unbelievable.
One of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in a Star
that was
Wars movie.
great.
Yes.
And then not the Death Star, the one where they were
Palpatine's place.
They were on the sunken ship with all the tidal waves coming
Death
around.
Star?
Oh yeah, that was sunken Death Star.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Star Destroyer.
Oh yeah.
We'll get,
understood.
There was a lot of good stuff.
But my big criticism of it is, out of all these movies, they don't bother to really dive into the Sith story until the last half hour of this movie.
Right.
Like the Sith should have had their own movie.
They should. Well, they could do it still. They could do it.
I know, but in terms of this, there should have been a deeper understanding and explanation as to what the Sith was.
Yeah.
That should have been the Last Jedi movie.
It would have been
see
perfect.
Palpatine building up his army in this unidentifiable planet.
See, they ruined it by saying they were doing another trilogy. What they should have done is J.J. Abrams should have came out when he took over for 9 and said, you know what, on second thought, looking at this, I think we're going to need 2 more movies to wrap this up.
Right.
And then you would have had plenty of time to let all this breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Film them back to back and release them, 9 months apart.
Wes, that would have been a really good idea for Last Jedi.
Well, no one consulted me.
No, they didn't. But I really want some old Republic stuff.
Oh
yeah. Darth Plagueis, was it Revan?
Start with Darth Bane.
He got brought into everything that he became canon now. Everything he's got from the games, but. The rankings for the 11 Star Wars movies, Tim. I don't know if you have your list, but I know Wes and I have ours. Wes, do you want to start?
Yeah, so I'll start from 11.
Okay.
I got Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, all kind of grouped into one. The Last Jedi at 8. Solo, A Star Wars Story at 7. I got The Rise of Skywalker at number 6. Rogue One at 5. A New Hope at 4. Now, I know this sounds a little weird having A New Hope at 4. The Force Awakens at 3. But it's a little bit more updated. It's essentially the same movie, but the graphics are better. It's just a little bit more updated for me, so I like that a little bit more. Then going Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back at number 1.
All right, so we have the same 11. I think far and away, the worst movie that came out, it's not even close, is Attack of the Clones. I actually have Last Jedi at 10. I don't dislike it as most people, though, having said that. Solo is my 9. Phantom Menace is 8. I really like Qui-Gon, and honestly, Darth Maul is top 3 favorite characters for me.
Sure, okay.
And I love him in the comics and stuff, too. Number 7, Revenge of the Sith. I feel like that movie gets dumped on, and I don't know why. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
A New Hope is 6. Return of the Jedi is 5. Force Awakens is my 4. Again, you talk about how the graphics and everything are better, and just after all the prequels, and there was disappointment there still.
It doesn't mean much as much to us where we didn't grow up with the first trilogy already out.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little different than versus Tim. Empire is number 3, though. If I'm being critical about all hoity-toity Rotten Tomatoes people, I might put that at 1, and then I might keep Rogue One at 2, which is where I have it on my list still, and then I have Rise of Skywalker as my number 1.
That is the definition of recency bias.
I walked out, and my brother and I both said the same thing. We walked out of it, and it was like, holy hell, that was awesome! The best lightsaber battles. By far the best fighter pilot scene at the end. By far the Rey, they made good on it not being just a dream. It was a vision, like in Empire, right? Tim, was that when Luke
I
fought
think so.
Vader?
Yeah.
When Luke fought himself as Vader. Yes, they did that same thing there, and freaking she looked badass with all the teeth. I could have done without. The Christopher Walken Sleepy Hollow teeth.
When he fought himself as Vader, that was
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay, so but they did the same. They did that here. I like that a lot. Obviously, the double lightsaber was awesome. Poe Dameron Finn was so much better in 100%. This movie. He still had his moments, but Poe was awesome too. Babu Frick was awesome. I just it's just so much. It was so much fun. I love that it was nonstop neck break stuff after Return of the Jedi. We needed that.
Last Jedi.
Whatever. I deserve to get the name wrong every time.
I just feel like you need a little time to breathe.
Ideally, that's what
Last
Jedi is.
Just going from one to another, I thought was a little bit much.
Do you have your list?
Let's get your list.
I have a list, and there's going to be some controversy here.
Oh boy.
Empire Strikes Back, number 1.
Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't pick that number 1 is wrong.
You're welcome.
Number 2, Return of the Jedi. That might be some sentimental value.
Sure. Yeah.
Understandable.
I put this movie in at number 3. Rise of Skywalker, barely edging out A New Hope, just because I think that some of the the battle. I think that scene that I talked about was that alone is
on
worth
the Death
it.
Star, yeah.
But also addressing some of the Sith stuff, I thought was a good reason for that. So then I have A New Hope. Then I have The Last Jedi as because I actually like that movie.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. There are parts of it that I don't like that I think are boring, and there's parts of it that I think are just stupid, lay in space. But there's a lot of that movie that I actually liked. Then I went with Rogue One. I went with Revenge of the Sith after that. I actually really liked Revenge of the Sith. Before these movies come out, that would have been like my number 3. But it just dropped down over the years.
You would have had that ahead of New Hope?
It one time after seeing it, I thought it was that good.
It was good.
After multiple watchings, I'm like, I don't think I can put it ahead of that. I put Solo in at number 9, even though I've never seen it, just based on the fact that Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones are what they are.
Yes. Okay. You're probably right.
But
that's probably a fair.
I
fair
didn't
assessment.
dislike Phantom Menace. I mean,
No, I didn't.
I think it gets a bad rap.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I'll give it this. I thought it was the worst one for a while, and then it has grown past Attack of the Clones, which I didn't feel that way about that at first.
One great moment of Attack of the Clones. Did you guys see it in the theater?
Yes.
No, I haven't finished that movie in its entirety. Actually, I always get.
I think it's Attack of the Clones. There's that scene when the ship blows up, and it makes that loud boing sound.
Oh yeah.
In the movie theater, I don't know how they did it, but it's like they found a way to suck all the sound out of the room first before then hitting everybody with that blast. Being in the movie theater and seeing that will always make it at least one of my favorite movies I've seen in the theater, even if I don't love it.
That's fair enough.
I don't know if you wrote this down.
Yes.
Would you say it's safe to say these had the best lightsaber battles? Are you in agreement with me on this?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just kind of off the top of my head, I would. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were some very cool lightsaber battles.
I think Revenge of the Sith and Force Awakens are the other two, probably, that are up there.
Probably, yeah. I think one of the things I liked again is we're talking about that breakneck speed to kind of open up the film.
Yep.
Kylo's opening scene, kicking ass.
Yep.
I thought that was really cool. Does raise one question for me. Do we think Adam Driver is athletic?
No.
He looked
Jewish.
so awkward in that opening scene. It was very cool, but I could tell. I'm like, man, he does not take direction very well as far as like lightsaber battles.
I like Kylo Ren's look with the mask. The second he takes it off, it's like, that's the guy. This is the guy who everybody's freaking terrified of. Really, I'm not like what this is not the guy who's gonna kick my ass. And then when I see him move around, it's like, dude,
he's real clunky, man.
Oh yeah, very clunky. And it's not just the Sith. It's just I understand it kind of works because he was so like when he learned the Force and everything, and then switched over to become a Sith. It makes sense because it's violent and raw and all that. But it's just
he's gangly.
Give me friggin' Maul.
Yeah.
That's the other one too. The other good lightsaber battle. Give me Maul. That's the guy. That's one of the best lightsaber fighters.
Ooh,
yeah,
you might be getting him back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I hope so.
If the Mandalorian season 2 things that I've been reading are going to happen.
Oh, and okay.
Oh wow.
He was in Solo. Spoiler alert.
Right.
Sorry, I'm a jerk.
Well, things.
It's not like the movie hasn't been out for 3 years.
It's very tiny. You whatever.
Other things I liked here to stay on topic. I know Mandalorian 2 and Solo and all that stuff. The explanation of Palpatine and Snoke, I thought that was a nice another retconning thing that was kind of quick. That you get the explanation for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was too quick.
Yeah, and it's a little neat and tidy and everything that it was Palpatine all along.
Is it a clone that he's controlling? Or is he manipulating Snoke?
No, he had multiple Snokes in the chamber.
There was a second hit. I haven't seen it twice, so that's why I couldn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a clone.
Yeah, so I think he just had multiple ones, just ready to fire up.
I don't even know if it's necessarily a clone.
I think it was just breeding
it's like a
race.
Or even just something like a vision he created. Like it didn't even have to necessarily be a physical character.
I guess so, but you have those things in the test tubes, though. I think that makes it physical. Right.
Okay,
but it didn't have to be. I think is what your point is.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the time, because if you go back and watch, like a lot of the times Kylo Ren's talking to him, he's talking to the hologram of him.
Right.
So I think it's only in that scene in Last Jedi that he's in the same room as him.
Mm-hmm. Now, but another question is if Palpatine was the voice inside Kylo's head this whole time, wouldn't he kind of see this coming, this connection with Rey and how strong of a bond it was? Like that was supposed to be a bit of a surprise to him, and didn't realize that. And obviously, they're bound together, and he
said we haven't seen anything like that in centuries?
Yeah, but if he's
decades?
inside his head, like, doesn't he have an idea of how conflicted Kylo is?
Yeah.
Or is I'm just reading into it too much?
No. I get your point. I just wonder how conflicted he was. I mean, he was absolutely conflicted. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Why he has the mask off so much at times and not.
Yeah.
To show his battle between Kylo and Ben. Yeah, there's definitely some issues with the Palpatine-Kylo relationship. Like, that's definitely, if pointing out, like, plot issues, that would be one.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like he looks at Kylo the way that he kind of looked at, I don't know, that's probably not an accurate, I was going to say Grand Moff Tark, but that's not really like a valid comment. But it's kind of like, it's almost like, yeah, he's my guy, but he's not like the guy that I really want.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
he's the best of what I can have right now. Yeah.
Maybe he looked at it. Maybe this is what it was. Maybe he looked at it and said, "Kylo, I need to be all in on Kylo, and I understand that I'm running a risk that he's conflicted and everything, but he's still on the bad side. And even then, at the end of it all, I need to use him to get to Rey. And the more I push him,
that's true,
and get him to fight Rey and get Rey to go and take that next step, like." Not heal Kylo like she did, then it's like, now I got her.
Hold on. It's actually, now that you think about it, it's extremely similar to what happened with Luke and Darth Vader. Where, yeah, Darth Vader's my boy, but here's Luke, and I really want Luke, so Darth Vader, I don't really care about you anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
But Vader was his guy at the time.
No, I mean, by the time you get to Return of the Jedi, Vader's not his guy anymore.
Right, no, then he's not. No, before he was, though.
So that's kind of like what it is with this, is like, yeah, Kylo Ren's my guy, but now I want Rey.
Right.
He's
okay, I like that.
Palpatine is 1,000% the biggest manipulator we've ever seen. I mean, he's a genius.
Exactly. Maybe next to Cartman, I feel like, as far as on the screen goes, he's a master manipulator.
But also, it's stupid in the end, because you're going for the stronger person, knowing that you're going to get killed. Because there can only be two Sith, and you're eventually going to get killed by your...
Right.
So it's like, you would almost think...
But
like,
he's always thinking 2 steps ahead, like, this is how I'm going to get rid of that person. He did it with everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, Maul, he lost him.
Give him credit, he cares more about keeping the Sith going than his own life.
Yep. But he said he's still going to be part of it, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, well, you're everybody's part.
And you think about it, he was ready for her to say no. He took the life out of her. Always ready.
General Hux. Spite Spy, I like that.
That was pretty fun.
That was fun. I like that little turn there.
Can I return this out of spite?
Yeah. Dio, the anxiety-ridden droid, voiced by J.J. Abrams. Pretty cool.
Like that. The little guy. Yeah.
That was the cone face guy. So and he comes up with a big, up with a big part there, kind of mapping out, right? He's mapping out Luke Skywalker's or the TIE fighter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So
why didn't anybody approach him on that sooner when they knew he was a droid for a Jedi bounty hunter? Like that's something that you probably should have looked into earlier.
Who do we have here? We have Lupita Nyong'o's Jannah Storm Squad, and getting that good Finn backstory while with other defecting stormtroopers. I thought that had a nice emotional piece to it that, for 2.5 movies, you never really get that. And I thought that was really one of the most compelling parts about Finn was this human stormtrooper who we thought were just, droids or robots, really.
Right.
Still needed more to that story.
That's what I mean. It was nice that was the best part of him. Yeah.
But yeah, like I still want to know. I mean, maybe I missed it somewhere along the lines, but I still want to know about the First Order making the decision to put individual people in those instead of going with clones.
Don't we think we're going to find out about that a little bit? They definitely left open at least 2 possible movies out of this.
Okay, and we'll answer that coming up.
Okay,
I have a where do we go from here type
gotcha.
question.
Okay.
Moving forward, Rey and Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, lightsaber relay through the Force.
So cool.
What you were mentioning before, being able to kind of do all that stuff. I thought that was really awesome. Even when they could figure out the snatching the necklace off or something, I thought that was great.
Yeah, I was like, oh shoot, this is not going to go well, because I thought she was toast by the time once he figured that out.
This had to be a top moment for our friend Tim here. Chewie finally getting his Medal of Honor, 42 years in the making.
Yeah.
I was really angry about the Chewie death curve.
I was too. Not cool.
Like, it's just not necessary.
I almost cried. I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's the thing. And it's so distracting to people in the movie, like people that are longtime fans. It's so distracting to put that in there and be like, psych!
Yeah, and it's also just lame. Like, he was on another plane or another ship. Like, that's cheap.
God, dude. That
also,
was so
I felt like when it happened, like there's no way that he's dead.
They couldn't do that. Yeah,
that's such an unceremonious end to Chewbacca.
I was like, how the hell are you gonna do Chewie like that? You just wanted to do that to let us know early on that Rey's a freaking Palpatine. You could have found out like 15 different ways to probably do that, but no, You got to go and freaking mess with our hearts like that.
I hear you.
Oh God, but I mean, yeah, whatever. That would hurt.
You had already mentioned this, Nick, but getting some sort of information on Leia having Jedi training
that was important.
to answer the question of how she could survive space.
If anything, you
minor question.
The only recency bias I have towards this movie, I guess, would be the way that this was able to make some of the things in Return of the Jedi make sense. I get that
the Last Jedi.
God, dude! Last Jedi makes sense. I'm
put
gonna get it wrong
a quarter
again.
in the jar every time.
For real. But there were certain things it could not fix. But there were a few big ones that I thought it addressed well, and I really appreciate that. That is not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
did not. That's
good.
I mean, I honestly never thought let's show her as a Jedi.
And what was in Rogue One? How they went back and kind of said oh, this is how you get around the one way to kill a Death Star, and that was the reason why you kind of get. So again, kind of nice way to kind of go back and tie it up.
A whole movie just to take care of that one little.
Yeah, exactly.
little thing.
Zori Bliss, a new character.
She was cool.
Loved her. Loved her outfit. I thought that was very form-fitting.
And
that was some Kerry Russell.
That's Kerry Russell's character.
Yeah. Didn't get the curls, though. I want to see more curls.
Yeah, she was...
I almost thought that was an in-joke. The fact that you never saw her hair in the movie.
Yeah.
I almost thought that was an in-joke going back to her time with J.J. Abrams, because he worked on Felicity.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure that was a J.J. Abrams show, Felicity.
Oh, wow.
And so, the big controversy of that show was when she cut her hair.
Right.
So I almost thought, by not showing her hair at all,
the next step in the joke. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Surprisingly missing, as well as the curls from Kerry Russell's hair, Rose Tico. Getting kicked to the curb.
Yeah, she was there.
Less than 2 minutes of screen time.
Oh, people were pissed. By the way, J.J. Abrams was involved in Felicity. People were pissed about that.
I don't know why. She was a nothing character.
Because what happened was, you remember, she went and she got harassed on social media by a lot of, Star Wars old school
because
Star Wars fans.
It was a social justice warrior.
Wait, she the actress
product
actually
placement?
Did?
Yeah, she did. It was very forced. And they put her in a terrible position, and then they go and do this. And I understand some people being upset because, she went and caught all that flack, and then you kind of said, yeah, you know what, you guys are right, and she did a bad job. I wasn't a fan of her character. I didn't need it.
Nope.
But I can understand why people be upset. At the same time, this was the right move at the end of it. Because this is Rian Johnson's fault.
And you don't need to add characters necessarily. Even the Zori Bliss, that was a nice short little thing that gives a nice backstory to Poe a little bit. That uses Spice Runner.
There's two reasons you add characters to a Star Wars movie. One is you add aliens.
Babu Frick.
Because it makes it, everybody loves the aliens and it expands the world. And two, if somebody's going out and buying an action figure, nobody's buying a Rose action figure.
Right.
No, but they will buy a Zori Bliss action figure.
That's a sweet character right there. That's a sweet uniform.
Lupita Nyong'o's the one who is
Jana Storm Squad. She was the leader of the
island.
People are going to go out and buy her action figure.
She was a good ad too. Those two characters, and Babu Frick, those three, I enjoyed. They did that perfectly. They had enough screen time, not a lot. They played a role. Good job.
I could have used some more Babu Frick.
Oh yeah. Well, because I
kind of hoping for a spin-off show.
I see him as a stoner. He's he got a little bit of Jar Jar Binks' stash.
Yeah.
His eyes are glazed over. He's a little slow to the conversation. He's really good at one thing. Like that.
As much as it was a stereotype against my people, I was a big Watto fan.
Yeah.
Some of the characters are just stupid and fun.
Yeah, exactly.
The Babu had two great spots, right? It was when he came back with Kerry Russell's character's Bliss in the plane, right? And he pops up.
Yeah.
There was that. And then when he fixes C-3PO, wipes his mind.
Right before.
Yeah, well, right before or right after?
Well, right before, because I think I have an idea of another way of how we could do this. And he's like, and then resets him anyway.
So the part I liked was right after when C-3PO introduces himself to everybody. And then Babu goes, I am Babu Frick.
Oh, yeah.
My impressions, as always, steal the show.
Spot on.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite parts of the movie, was when they have to wipe C-3PO.
Yeah, that was great.
Out of all the movies, they finally found a way to shut him up.
But they kind of ruined that in the trailer. Like, that would have been a really special scene. Like, now I feel like it gets kind of memed out where he's like, I'm taking one last look at all my friends, you know? And it's like, shut up, C-3PO. but at that moment, you're like, oh, that's a cool moment.
Yeah. I'm glad they gave him his memory back at the end, too. But give us time away from him where, like you said, he could shut up.
What do you mean you're my best friend?
Yeah.
We got some sweet Ewok and Porg action. Are you happy with the Return of the Ewoks?
I was like, nice, that's cute.
Cool. Didn't really hurt anything.
No, it didn't have to. Yeah. The Rey Kylo battle on the half-sunken Death Star.
Awesome.
And the idea of the Force transfer. Those are some of my favorite things from this movie.
I thought the end scene where she's dealing with Palpatine was awesome. I thought the way she fought back and everything, and like we saw him suck the life out of her. I legitimately thought Rey was going to die at the end when she. Like, I know Ben came back and everything.
And I was fine with it.
I love Rey, but I would have been fine with it too.
It would have been a nice twist of a closure.
If Rey died and it kicked Ben Solo into becoming Ben Skywalker, I was all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I was also confused about.
But you know that would never be that would never fly with the public, based off the conversation that we were just having about Rose Tico, is that you introduce a strong female lead character only to be killed off by your prototypical white, strong male character
to help your other white male character.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That would never fly.
That would never fly. Anyways, when the things that I was confused about, and this could be kind of under the things I didn't like Leia. I understand, like, we didn't see her disappear till the very end. Like, she was still kind of there, and it was just a little confusing for me.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I get that she was there helping Ben, but, how much did she have to help him? I know she helped him, and he needed that to push him in the right direction, but how much was she manipulating him, or was she just there giving him extra strength?
Yeah,
you know what
I mean that's a good question.
That was a little confusing.
I'm not entirely sure. Some things that we didn't like before we get into some unanswerable questions.
Like that.
Can I just answer his question for a moment?
Oh, if you got that, yeah.
That's the kind of thing that as longtime Star Wars fans, what we do is we see it in the movie and we question it and we don't understand it, and then we go and read the novelization later and it explains it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's kind of been the way that it's worked.
MO, if you will.
Okay.
Some things that we didn't like, the fast-paced nature.
I like that.
We already covered, did we buy Adam Driver as being an athlete?
Nope.
The answer is no. Rey and Ben's kiss, kind of weird.
People,
kind of unnecessary.
People in the theater groaned when it happened.
Didn't need that.
I didn't need it.
I was kind of more partial to the idea that they were twins, a la Leia and Luke.
I didn't want that. I would have been pissed.
And which I believe was also in some of the comic books about Han Solo's kid. Wasn't there like a...
They originally had twins in the
Yes.
original trilogy of the books.
Yes.
Thank you. That's what I was referencing to.
I would not have liked that. I don't know. I mean, when it was...
I would rather that than them kissing.
No, I wouldn't. If it was Luke's daughter, I would have been cool with it. Palpatine's daughter, I'm very cool with it. No, I did not. The way they had done it, I did not need another Solo. There's no way Leia and Han would have not known.
How else do you explain their connection? If no one else has ever happened to, of course, that's a connection between twins. That's what it is.
What was the term that they used?
Force bond?
No, but it was force
divergent.
No, like is in theirs too. I forget the exact term that they used, but they're diametrically opposed sides of the Force,
like the yin and yang.
Yeah, so one has to exist for the other to exist. And what was interesting about that?
Two that are one.
Yeah, I think it was it. Dyad or something, I think it might have been. I don't know what the exact term was. I forget. But when they mentioned it in the movie, what I was thinking was, that's an interesting twist if they both end the movie being good. Because basically what it's saying is it's blowing out the idea of where you need to have balance. A good and a bad to have balance. You don't need a good and a bad. You just need two. Mm-hmm. You just need one to reflect off the other. And that's all that you need. And that the good and the bad of it are still the human constructs of how we, or whatever race you are, but they're the human constructs of taking that force and manipulating it in our own way. Because in reality, there's no such thing as good or bad.
Right.
There's only the essence of what is, and we manipulate it to be good or bad.
Assigned labels, right.
What it's saying is the force is, and you don't need to have good and bad to make it be balanced. You just need two ends of it for it to make sense.
I can't believe you wanted the twins. Thank you, Tim.
More so than kissing, I don't know.
Yeah, the kiss was bogus.
I'm glad he died right away, though. Like, I did not need them turning into
I think the kiss killed him.
It might have.
Rey had bad breath.
Oh, no.
Poison.
Palpatine breath.
I might die if Rey
Well,
kissed me too.
where's the dental hygiene on any of these ships that we see? You know,
That is a great point.
Yeah.
That is a great point.
That's all I'm asking.
Your attention to detail is unbelievable.
Is Lando Calrissian problematic? Have we?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. He's an obvious womanizer, right? We get that. The first thing he says when they bring up, Princess Leia or Leia Organa, or is that Organa? Am I pronouncing
Organa?
Yeah, there we go.
Organa.
Yeah, whatever.
Skywalker.
Leia was that not that her ship blew up and like a whole planet died and the whole part of the resistance is pretty much gone. He's like, tell her I said what's up.
I think that's more of a play on Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, no, I know.
I enjoyed it.
What I didn't get is all the the advanced stuff going into it, where he said that he saw, he saw himself as being gender fluid. Like,
right, yeah.
I was like, what the hell are you talking about, Billy D? Like, I just basically, like, you are the epitome of machismo for so many people. Like, what are you saying? It was just, I think it was really just he's 83 and he's senile.
He's 83?
I think he is, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're pretty old here. Yeah.
He looks old. I'm going to put this in a classy manner. If you could go on a date with Carrie Fisher in her prime or Daisy Ridley, obviously in her prime now, who would you prefer? I know you're a married man, and I understand that, and you would never, ever, ever.
With that caveat on there,
yes.
Carrie Fisher.
Really?
Yeah, it's, I was a big fan of Return of the Jedi as a kid. That was always playing on TNT and TBS and TV and all that
and
sort of stuff.
And you like the dress.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, the metal bait bikini.
And Tim, you're Carrie Fisher, right?
Neither of them do it for me.
But you see, really? At all?
Neither of them do. No.
Which one would you pick, though, if you had to? Neither? You can't do it?
I really find it hard to pick either one.
Oh, man, I picked Daisy Ridley.
No, she looks ripped. She's in great shape for
I love that accent, man. Oh,
don't get me wrong. They're both beautiful.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm not...
Is that your type?
Not attracted to either character.
Okay. All right.
Speaking of attraction, the vague love triangles with everybody. What's up with that?
Wait a minute. What is this?
Well, that brings in the big MacGuffin of the movie.
What is it? Go ahead.
What was it that Finn wanted to tell Rey?
Yeah.
It was that he was force sensitive.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what J.J. Abrams has come back and said. But in the course of the movie, as it's going on, you're thinking that he's going to tell her that he loves her.
That's what I
and that
would have thought.
Like that's where this is going the whole time, and then it never happens.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go back, you're like, okay, I'm force sensitive. That makes sense. But it was like the MacGuffin, and it was the MacGuffin through Force Awakens too.
Yeah.
Yes.
That he had a thing for her. So yeah, that bothered me.
What I would have preferred is Poe and Finn being a couple together.
This is just a thing you made up, right?
No, this is actually gained
that's
popularity.
That's been going on since Force Awakens came out.
Yeah.
Really?
Is that they're like a really good odd couple that bickers with one another.
But that's not what it is. We know this.
Well,
did you see what he said to Carrie? Did you see what he did to Carrie Russell's character at the end when he was like, gave her that look? Like, Joanna?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's a vague love triangle.
You want to get after it?
And she said no.
Listen,
she said no. Well, she said no. I mean, it doesn't mean
it's a big universe out there. Any port in the storm, man.
Exactly. I'm just saying. I think that would have been great to have if everyone was all up in arms about Rose Tico, the lesbian Asian woman, not being in that, not being featured in the movie prominently. That is your great answer right there.
Is the actress lesbian?
No, I believe the role was. I mean, didn't her?
Why she kiss Finn then?
I thought her lover died in that bombing.
No, I don't know.
And the bomber.
No, that was her sister.
We sure about that?
Yes, it was her sister. She said it was her sister. She said it was her
sister. Maybe she meant. No, I'm not gonna go.
Why did she kiss Finn?
Even on a podcast, I'm not gonna say that.
Why did Adam drive her, or why did Rey and Kylo kiss?
Because they had a connection. They were
is the other kiss? I
can't recall the kiss. So
is the other kiss in your list? I don't want to. Is my kiss on your list?
No.
To quote some Hollow Notes.
Your kiss
is on my lips.
Is not on my lips.
So there's no other kisses that you're gonna mention.
No.
Okay, well then if you're gonna have a gay kiss in Star Wars, make it be Finn and Poe. Did you not see the lesbian kiss?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
So if you're gonna put that in there,
what was
during the celebration scene when everybody's happy, they come back and everybody went. There's a lesbian kiss. There's two women that kiss.
Oh, it was just two extras or something.
One of
them's kind of in the movie. I couldn't even tell you her name.
She was in The Last Jedi. I caught myself there.
Wow, there you go.
She was in that one too. I don't know if she was in
older blonde lady.
Force Awakens. Yeah,
and she kisses another woman.
She's one she's like one of those faces that you've seen elsewhere too.
Okay,
but I don't know what her name is.
If you're gonna have a gay kiss, let it be Finn and Poe.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think they were afraid of the blowback. I wouldn't care.
No, I think that would have been wildly accepted.
I would have been fine with it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would have been perfect for it.
Yeah, maybe it would have worked out. I don't care. I wouldn't have cared. I just never thought of it.
That was like big talking points.
Really?
I remember hearing that going all the way back to Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
You guys have never brought that up with me.
But no, I was even going back and trying to watch. I think it was The Force Awakens, and they're coming back with the name, and he gives Finn his name and everything, and they get separated. And all he has is Poe's jacket. And he's wearing his jacket, and they reunite. He goes, "Hey, that's my jacket." And he goes, "Oh, no, here we go." He goes, No, it looks good on you. Yeah. And it's just this nice little moment. Yeah. And I'm like, this is the start. This is where it all happens. No, it looks good
I think nobody would have cared.
Yeah, exact. I think
people would have been
nice.
like, makes sense.
Yes, I guess they missed out on that one.
There's your interracial, gay, bisexual, whatever you want to call it, relationship.
Covers all the bases.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We already talked about Chewie exploding on the ship, only to find out that he was on a different one. The Knights of Ren. Nice that we see more of them. Kind of lame, though. They're just like
super underserved in the whole trilogy.
Faceless, nameless bad guys.
They should have had more of them in Last Jedi.
Again, Last Jedi,
Sith,
where you go and
that.
actually go. Yes.
A lot of stuff they could have done there. A lot of stuff.
The notion, and you mentioned this a little bit, Nick, the notion that if you kill the head, every bad guy vanishes, like suddenly, like everything vanishes. Like, I did not like that. That's a very played out
it happens
hero
in
trope.
all the Star Wars movies, and it turns out that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's still there. But
in any movie, like, that's how you do it, right? That's what they do in Endgame, and it's like you kill one guy, and everything happens. Again, with Endgame, things I didn't like. The very ending when all the ships just kind of show up, clearly stolen from Endgame. Endgame did it better.
I mean, they did. Well, okay.
I think it's stolen from every movie ever.
Yeah,
I get it.
Like,
they waited a little too long on that for me. Like, Lando should have came in about 2 minutes sooner, like at least in the movie time.
You have the ending of a huge saga that has spanned multiple years. That's a science fiction fantasy that are separated by 1 year apart. The final movie for each series, and the final moments are like the exact same.
Yeah, they were a little different, but yeah, they were close. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I don't know. It's not like this is something you haven't seen before. You always see the cavalry come in.
It's
the cavalry.
One of the oldest tropes in.
I understand it's the second to last episode and the second to last season of Game of Thrones or what? Battle of the Bastards, right? It's like it's all that stuff, right?
That's right. Battle of the Bastards.
It's
right.
On top of that being like a tired trope. It's the fact that they're warp speeding or light speeding into a place.
It's amazing that you can have like 10,000 ships do that and nobody crashes into each other.
Yeah, exactly. I also was thinking that as I was like, wow, that's really good GPS.
You know what I just remembered that I didn't like in all this? They tried to, speaking of the ships and everything, oh God, who's the guy that says it's a trap? Why am I blanking on his name?
Admiral Akbar.
Admiral Akbar. So they never did anything really to do that guy justice, right? And then they try and sneak in a guy that's like of his race and give him a speaking line. No. That's not enough. That's not okay. You guys screwed that one up too. That one pissed me off a little bit. We're really going to try and jam in an Akbar copycat? No.
I can't really tell what's like being jammed in to get it in and what's kind of like a wink and a nod kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't like that wink and nod. I don't like it. Don't give me that.
Wink and nods are fun if they're done right.
Some people, I don't think it was done right. And actually, the last one that you have here, Wes, is a good call. The opening scroll. Now, I'll let you say your piece on it, but my thing that really annoyed me, why is there an exclamation point in my opening scroll? That should not happen.
Where I didn't notice that.
There was an exclamation point in the opening scroll. I'll get the picture and show you. But go ahead.
There's been exclamation points in other scrolls.
No, there haven't.
Yes, there has.
God, I have never noticed that.
It's an attack, right? Isn't that?
I think there's one that's like I think there's one where it just says war exclamation point.
Well, I'm going to look up all the stuff now. You go ahead and explain your...
Well, yeah, I just thought it was too much. You know, they gave away too much. We talked about that breakneck speed that it's opening up with. The whole Palpatine reveal. You know, we knew that from the trailer with his laugh and everything. But again, could have been better served
really
in Last
Jedi. Explain it enough.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, that's a big reveal to open up in the scroll as soon as you sit down in the movie. God forbid you're a few minutes late, you're done.
Yeah.
Like that's obviously a movie you're not going to be late to.
See,
but
I misread a preview, and in the preview it said that we find out even before the opening scroll that Palpatine's alive. So I thought that meant that there's a scene before the scroll.
Right, yeah.
And I went into this like ready to boo if there was a scene before the scroll.
Yeah.
Because that would just be so like anti-Star Wars.
Right, yeah.
They
I
did
like
it
that.
in Revenge of the Sith with the scroll.
Was it war exclamation point?
Yep.
Yeah, I knew there was, I knew that was in one of them.
There you go.
I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. And that last little thing you brought up, they've only had 2 movies where they didn't have an opening scroll, right? It was Rogue One and Solo. They didn't have one, right?
Because
Yeah.
those aren't
The
part of the
saga.
saga.
Yeah.
So,
Right. I like
they're not
that.
episodes.
I like that. That's well played.
A couple other questions, plot holes here. Rey's new lightsaber, yellow.
I like that.
Significance of that?
They've explained it before.
I would say I don't know anything about it.
So from what I'd read, there isn't much significance. The easiest one to offer as an explanation would be the combination of red and green, right? Doesn't that make yellow?
No, yellow
and blue make green.
Yellow and red make
No,
orange.
those are both. I think they're both primary colors. Yeah.
Red and green make yellow? No.
Yeah. No, I think
Some-
red.
Blue and red are primary colors, and yellow is the third primary color.
So
Yeah, maybe this article I wrote doesn't know what they're talking about.
I don't know how much you guys know about the lightsabers, but when you become a Jedi, part of your training is that you have to make your own,
Yes.
and you have to go out and find the crystals.
Right.
And so that's why the color of the lightsaber depends on the crystals that you use.
Oh.
So it's whatever crystal she was able to find. And my guess was that at this point, like you had to, first of all, you had to give her a different color than everybody else had, just
Right.
for storyline purposes. But maybe it's like that's the only crystal that's left because we've never seen a yellow lightsaber.
Okay.
So maybe all the other crystals have been used up.
Yeah, they have a yellow one in the show.
Attack of the Clone Wars. I think they had them.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I'm sure during that they must have had every color
Yeah.
because of all the Jedi they had.
yeah, I just I'm trying to find. IGN has an article, but I'm not seeing anything. But I've definitely heard of it before. They have a whole bunch of like fan theories out there and everything. I mean, even like different shades of green have reasonings behind them. But yellow, I can't remember the specifics that I saw, but I liked it. I thought it looked
Cool too.
and that was one where I was like, okay, we could get more Rey. I mean, they said they're not going to make other ones, but I could see Rey getting something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it. I'd definitely go see that.
I mean, I don't see why anybody from this trilogy couldn't be in any other movie.
Right.
Because it's not the end of their story.
No, and they're all great characters. I think. I don't really have a problem with any of the main characters in this movie.
No,
Like
I agree.
everybody
Yeah.
but Chewbacca is dead.
Yeah.
So, like that part of it is what's over.
Right.
This can all go on forever.
2 more things that I thought was interesting. After some reading, I found out that Kylo Ren throws his lightsaber into the sea of the Kef beer. Probably mispronouncing that. He doesn't speak the rest of the movie, so pretty much when he accepts himself as Ben Solo, he doesn't say anything except
that's
for like
interesting.
Wow.
moaning or something,
That is interesting.
which I never picked up on.
No, I didn't.
And I wasn't
catch
sure
that
if you guys had any thoughts as to why you thought that would be.
Well, that
why that was
that
the
is
case.
where that goes to what I was saying before about Leia and how she's taking control of him. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be weird if Leia kissed Rey, but like, how much is she involved in him turning over to Ben Solo? Like, is she just using him? Like, is she just like taking the Ben part of Kylo Ren and amplifying him so that he suppresses Kylo, or does she just push him in the right direction and then increase his force power? I don't know. That's just so confusing.
I mean, I honestly came away with the feeling that he made that choice consciously. And so when he made that choice consciously, like, because he already said Ben Solo was dead. And so now Kylo Ren is dead. So now he's neither.
Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. He's just like in a purgatory state or something.
Yeah, so
like
now
that,
it's like I'm neither nor. So if he tried to, I mean, I didn't pick up on the fact that he didn't speak, but it's almost like
I didn't notice until after reading this article, so I would be
if
interested
he tried to
go back
speak, it
and
would be
watch
who the hell is talking, you
Right.
know? Like that. I think that's pretty interesting.
That was a really good pickup.
Yeah, and this was the other thing that I think might have been the same article. I wish I could give that article or author credit for it, but I didn't write it down. So, if Han Solo has been on the record as just saying he's never had any Force powers, which I believe he has, then what was his prediction to Kylo or Ben at the end?
I thought that was more Ben talking to his own conscience.
Okay, that could be fair. Also, as a brief side, Han Solo, what are you doing up in heaven? He looks very disheveled. Like, what is he doing with his free time? Sort of thing. Like,
Did he look more disheveled than he was when he died, though?
I don't know. Maybe put on like a quick Gillette shave or something. I don't know.
That's the guy you guys want to get a beer with over Poe Dameron.
Just be thankful they didn't
good guy.
They didn't reverse age him.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that would've been
exactly.
Yeah,
worse.
but I bet you they wanted to, and he said, nah, not happening. Harrison Ford ain't going for that shit. No way.
And he was in for 30 seconds.
That was a great surprise because I hadn't heard anything about that anywhere.
Right.
Very appreciative of that for sure.
But so you just think that was like a projection, and then more of like a movie thing that you could see him.
I think what we were getting there. No, I think Ben was seeing him there, but I think what we were getting there was the personification of this internal struggle. That he was kind of having at that time.
All right, I thought that was interesting because he has said that, right? He's like, I never believed in any of that stuff, but I know it's out there. Whatever.
And also, maybe it doesn't matter because just because you weren't using the Force in life, if you accept it in death, maybe you can still be a Force ghost.
Maybe a lot of exceptions to this Force stuff.
Maybe it was more Ben's Force power that was making him a Force ghost than his own.
Can you eventually kill yourself by using too much Force transfer?
Yeah.
Like, are you taking your life and giving it to someone else?
No.
Your life force?
No.
Your energy? No?
You don't think you can...
No, because if you can use the Force to heal, then...
You could heal yourself?
You're kind of self-healing as you do it.
Okay.
You're not manipulating... I don't think you're manipulating your own life force. You're manipulating the Force around you.
Okay. All right. That could be interesting.
Like the rest of the Force of the universe. I think it takes a physical toll on you the same way, Baby Yoda knocks over the Mudhorn and then passes out.
Right.
But it's not your own Force. It's just the strength you have to exert to use the Force.
So the Force is already all around you, a la gravity, but you just have the means to kind of warp it around.
It's basically the same thing.
Let it flow through you, right?
When Palpatine told Anakin, I can teach you how to bring somebody back to life. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. He wasn't using his own life force to do that.
Okay.
So it's kind of the same idea.
That makes sense.
So real quick, just on the yellow lightsaber thing, this is from IGN. Yellow blades were used by Jedi Sentinels wielding the Force with a perfect blend of knowledge and power. Sentinels served as deadly guards of the Jedi Temple. So that's like where we've seen it.
She had read all the text.
Do you think that is the implication in the movie?
That she's a Jedi Sentinel, or that she's
that
the perfect blend?
Perfect blend of. Do you think that's kind of what they're saying?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, she's as powerful as anyone we've ever seen, right? And especially in the movies.
I think my gut feeling is Lucasfilm / Disney was like, that's one more lightsaber we can sell.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely at the end of it all.
Okay, so who won the movie?
Wait. I had one last question.
Yes.
Are we going to get a spin-off? Or are they going to... I don't know if there's time because what's his face? Lando's... obviously...
Clock's ticking.
Yes, clock's ticking. But him and who... God, I forgot her name again. Sorry, what's the character's name?
The one that used to be a stormtrooper?
Lupita Nyong'o.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of alluded to, let's find out your past and find out more about the stormtrooper history and everything like that.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
They could do that. That's the movie that I said there could be a spinoff, and then Rey could end up getting another movie with the
or just like a
cameo,
like a nice sitcom, odd couple shoot off between Poe and Finn.
That would be great.
Like they just have like a nice little duplex somewhere.
I'd much rather have that than the one they're doing for MCU.
Yeah.
No, the
WandaVision, yeah.
No, the other one.
Hawkeye?
No, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. If I have to have the duo show, I'd much rather have it be.
I see. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm Falcon and Winter Soldier all day on that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What was your question?
Who won the movie?
I would say Rey Palpatine Skywalker won the movie.
Mm-hmm.
No questions asked. She was outstanding.
I mean, my big takeaway from this forever is going to be Babu Frick.
Okay. I think that's a good one. I might say Chewbacca. Chewbacca came out pretty. He got the medal.
He won the damn saga.
He lasted longer than everyone else.
Yep. And
actually, 3PO really probably won.
That's true. That's a good point. But he lost his memory there for a little bit, and like I was.
And
he's
lost body parts throughout the years too.
The Force Awakens, like they had this nice callback to him playing chess, and he's like, "Oh, he's been playing for 500 years. Of course he knows." Like, but they're in the Force Awakens, he's playing, and he sucks.
Yep.
He's playing against Han, I think.
And they say he cheats.
Yeah.
In this one. Yeah. So he ended up being Chewbacca was in what, 7 movies? Right, because he was in... No, he wasn't in Clones. He was in Sith. No, but he was also in Solo, so he was in 7. Because he was in the first 3.
Yeah.
These last 3, that's 6. He was in Revenge of the Sith, makes 7, because he was there with Yoda. They were at the Wookiee.
Yeah, he had him.
And then he was in Solo. So he was in 8 out of the 11 movies. Palpatine was in the first 3. He was in... I'm sorry, the first 3, like, chronologically, yes. He was in Empire. He was in Last Jedi. And then he was in this one, so that was 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I think...
Was he not in A New Hope? Was there not like a...
Palpatine wasn't in the New Hope.
There was no projection of him in that?
No, I don't... Not that I can remember.
Yeah, I can't
So
either.
I can't keep track anymore with all the stuff they've gone back and added in.
I think it's 3PO, R2, Chewbacca, and Vader have the most appearances in all of it at the end, right? Because you count Anakin and Vader?
When did R2 come in?
Yeah, that's tough. Anakin, Darth Vader, because there's different iterations of them, you know?
Mm-hmm. But
it's like Chewie, at least, it's a costume.
Right, so it's Chewie and then the droids. They make the most appearances out of anybody. Because those two, the C-3PO and R2 were in
just about every one, yeah.
I don't think R2 was in Phantom Menace.
R2 was in Phantom Menace.
Was he?
Yes, he was. Because remember when Anakin... I remember this. I actually like this scene. When at the end where Anakin flies out in that Naboo plane.
Oh, yeah, he's in the Naboo fighter.
Yes,
yeah.
he's in the fighter with him. Yes.
Okay. Well, this leads right into my next question. Who won this trilogy and or the Skywalker saga overall?
Well, I mean...
I got a couple of names here. I got Luke Skywalker, I got Leia, I got Rey Skywalker, I got R2-D2, Chewbacca, Han Solo, or Emperor Palpatine. Or a write-in.
I can't give it to Palpatine. I mean, I can't. You know what? Actually,
well, because he loses at the end. You can't win.
But everything comes to an end. Like he had an amazing run. His plan worked out so well.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
He was the emperor for what was it, like 18 years or something like that.
Oh, longer than that.
Was it longer than that in the end?
Yeah.
Because who knows how long time works over there?
He was. I mean, I don't know how old Luke was.
I thought Vader was in his 50s when he died.
Okay, so I mean, he was. But how old was Luke and Leia? Luke and Leia were in their 20s, were they not?
Oh, I guess the math doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Depending. I think
so. Either way,
there's some issues with the math.
Even if it's 18 years as an emperor, that's a long time. You did a damn good job.
Yeah.
So I would say, I mean, considering what he had to do in the
and also
shadows,
you were the main senator for a long time before that.
Exactly. Yes, the chancellor and all that. Yeah. So I would say Emperor Palpatine won the saga 1,000%. And then his granddaughter ended up, being the one that saved the world.
That's
so
true.
Win-win.
It's strong bloodline. Yeah, I got to go with Luke. It's called Skywalker Saga for a reason. I love the grizzled old get off my lawn Luke at the end there. So yeah, it's Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
Wasn't there an issue with this one where Ghost Luke could use a real lightsaber? Wasn't that like one of the things people had a problem with?
In this one,
he caught the real lightsaber and gave it to Rey.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. There were definitely some issues.
Yeah.
I actually, in the course, I was like, I don't care. I didn't even think of it. Didn't cross my mind.
Who lost the movie? A couple choices here. Rian Johnson, Rose Tico, or Admiral Akbar.
Why is Admiral Akbar on the list?
Because he didn't get the funeral that we were all hoping.
Okay.
I mean, for a movie that was filled with as much fan service as this was, not having an Admiral Akbar acknowledgement period, it's egregious.
I think as much as Rian Johnson looks like more of a dink after all this, I think he didn't. I can't call him the biggest loser because, in a way, Abrams made those important things that I had issues with or might have been problematic for people. He fixed them a little bit.
Now he lost it.
Is Rian Johnson still getting that other trilogy?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'd say Rose lost it.
Of those three, they're all losers. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah. Well, Admiral Akbar got the shaft.
Yes. Yes. Excuse me.
Yes.
I misspoke there. Do you have a
general
loser of this movie?
I think the winner and the loser overall was Disney for both.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're making a ton of money, but the Star Wars fans are forever going to hate them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. That brings us to, of course, we're looking at other things. We had 2 weeks layoff from our Christmas special.
Yes.
Wes, I'm sure you've been watching other things or reading other things. What else has been on your mind?
Okay, so first things first, we mentioned this to pay off this tease from the news and notes portion of our show. We mentioned not everybody loves cats. So the Netflix series Don't F with Cats is a must-watch murder documentary. If you're into things like The Staircase, Making a Murderer, Evil Genius, this is all that and more. Riveting 3 hours of television. I put it on Saturday, watched it the entire night, was blown away by it. Won't give it away. Twists and turns up the yazoo.
Really?
Yeah, but just trust me on it. It's amazing.
Okay.
Tim can attest to that.
Yeah, absolutely. But to give you like any little general thing would probably spoil too much of it.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, basically look at it like this. And here's the joke I was going to make earlier is we need to find the Facebook group from that movie and get them on the story of who killed the cats in this movie.
Right.
Like they need to solve the mystery of what the hell happened here.
That's a good SNL joke. I think that's a timely SNL joke.
I can see that being a
right
good
now.
sketch. Yeah. But basically, let me just give it to you like this: a guy uploads a video of him killing 2 kittens by placing them into like a vacuum seal bag and sucking all the air out of it.
What?
And he uploads that to the internet.
Like he did that in real life?
In real life. And then a Facebook group forms to try to find out who this guy is. And it gets insane from there.
Unreal.
Really?
Watch it.
And anybody out there that's worried, they don't show any cats being killed.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Wow, that sounds like a must-watch.
I highly recommend it. It's like riveting television.
It goes where you think it might go, but it doesn't go anywhere near where you think it might go. It's insane.
And I got one more thing, too, because I watched this. This was on demand. I saw this on demand on my Xfinity app, so it might be available at your TV on demand, whatever platform that is. 2018 movie called Freaks. So it's starring Emile Hirsch, and the tagline is, a bold girl discovers a bizarre, threatening, and mysterious new world beyond her front door after she escapes her father's protective and paranoid control. So all I'm going to say, I won't tell you too much. 2 movies that I think we're pretty much in lockstep and enjoying. This is Brightburn meets 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I saw Brightburn finally.
Okay,
because it was on HBO. Epix?
Yeah.
Stars, one of those ones. And damn, I wish I had seen that when
movie,
you guys
right?
were talking. That really was well
It was
done.
a really good movie.
Yeah, and 10 Cloverfield Lane, the sequel with John Goodman. So that kind of like piece by piece kind of murder thing where it's all kind of in one room and you kind of pull on
the
sweater.
first direct to streaming like blockbuster. Like it was supposed to be a theatrical release, and then I forget if it was Netflix or Hulu, but whichever one it was. I think it was Hulu. They snatched it up. And it premiered on the streaming service.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's really cool.
But that movie was also really good, kind
really
of
cool.
Sci-fi thriller, superhero adjacent type story.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. $5 well spent.
Is this based off of a book or is it like an
I don't
original
think so.
thing?
I think it might just be original IP, which I think is awesome, actually.
That sounds.
But if you like The Boys or Watchmen or those type of like alternative forms of superhero stories, this is great.
Brightburn though,
Did you know that was kind of tied into another universe?
Not till the end.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be the reveal.
Yeah, that it's tied into that super universe.
What?
Wait, what do you mean the super universe?
So
are you talking about the one that has that like weird Flash type alternate guy? Because there's one that's like a callback to another character.
There's a movie that Rainn Wilson starred in.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yes.
So Brightburn is part of that universe.
Yeah, we did talk
That was
about
one that had like it was a similar Flash character, right? That's what it was.
Yeah, I think that's Rainn Wilson. Yeah.
Yes. We didn't know like till.
There's supposed to be
end.
sequels, I guess, to Brightburn, but they're on the back burner. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Hopefully they still do it. So speaking of streaming services, though, Netflix is The Witcher came out in between this episode and the last one of our show, and I am almost done with it. I am on the last episode, and wow, these are loaded episodes. I've really enjoyed it. Henry Cavill is, he's
a hunk.
Oh, what the hell is the character's name? It starts with a G, and I can't remember that.
Geralt?
Geralt of Rivia. Oh my God! Now there are parts about it that are a little confusing, and there are things. I know you gave it a shot, and you're gonna try again.
I'm gonna try again.
I don't know that you're gonna like this, Wes. There's like,
all right, well, that's a ringing endorsement.
But see, it's not that I love it. I freaking love it. But there are just some things where it's like this is too much for me. Like meaning you. Like I don't think I just
could be. I mean, is it Game of Thrones like?
It is, but it's like another level of like medieval weirdness. Nerdier. Seriously,
Nerdier, okay.
There are, and I mean, and like the main female character, her name's Yennefer. She can get kind of really, really weird. But I mean, I love Cavill in this. He's freaking awesome. And I like the show. I mean, I give it a solid 8-7. But I just don't know that it's for everybody.
Okay.
So I don't.
Did you say Geralt of Rivia?
Yeah, isn't it Geralt of Rivia?
Are there any product placement for Kelly's roast beef?
I don't.
That's a Revere joke.
Yes.
Rivia.
World's famous Kelly's
I don't know if all of our audience will get that reference.
It's Rivia, excuse me.
If I can throw in a quick on my mind, I mentioned this before the show started. Mr. Robot season 4, the series wrapped up this past week, and a mind F of a show.
Really?
Like just from the very first episode, the twists and the reveals that happen, but and it can get really weird. But the last episode was one of the finest. It's 2 hours long, but it's one of the finest episodes of television ever.
Just like this episode.
I like it. This is a good one. This is worth it, though. We had to do it. I mean, this is Star Wars. Star Wars.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I am. I've heard nothing but good things about that show, Tim.
If you're worried about the hacker culture and it being over your head, you can totally watch it and know nothing about computers or the internet.
Good.
Rami Malek is. I thought he was so one-dimensional as an actor. When I first started watching the show, I was like, well, of course, this guy can only play this one type of character. But I was wrong.
Okay.
I mean, he is so awesome.
Good for him. Okay, I like that.
I think we could possibly do another Star Wars episode at some point.
At some point.
I'm not going to rule it out, but I think...
Can we do a Mandalorian episode if he can get past episode 2?
If he gets past it, I'm absolutely down for that.
Well, how about this, okay? You give me 2 weeks.
I like that.
In the meantime, in between time, we will do our decade in review.
That's what I was going to say. Should we...
And we'll do favorite comedy movies, action movies, all that stuff of the decade.
Yeah, so
top 5.
Should we do... Okay, so I was going to ask you, do you think maybe it's a good idea to just kind of... Unless there's like crazy news. Like, do you think maybe we just can the news for next show, do a 2019 and all-decade episode? Like,
I like that.
Split it down the middle?
Yeah, right down the middle.
Okay, awesome. So that is our guaranteed episode for next week.
Done. And then give me 2 weeks and we'll do The Mandalorian.
All right. Sounds like a plan to me.
Till then.